Hi, George. You've got
Thank you.
3 minutes.
I'm really happy to be put forward here today, and it's an absolute pleasure to be here. There's an awful lot of things I could talk about today in this short bit of time, but I think coming to Labour International is particularly important because a lot of things I'm saying about my campaign and a lot of things I want to achieve in this new transformational, I hope, position for disabled people are about the way that disabled members in the party have so many barriers to inclusion that we need to change by a real revolution in the accessibility of the way we meet and the way we make decisions in this party. And I hope that Labour International members will recognise some of those barriers which we as disabled people face, but I feel that many other members also face in various ways, and would benefit from some of the gains we have made as a party in the last few months, despite the huge difficulties in managing to engage members in online decisions and meetings, for example. Although there are definitely, I think we definitely should have gone a lot further in allowing members to meet and to make decisions in the last few months. But I really think that's going to be an absolute central thing to me. So who am I? I'm a councillor in Sheffield. I'm the cabinet member on Sheffield City Council for health and social care. So as part of that role, I lead a lot of the development of our policy, not just for disabled people, but across health and social care. It's an awful time to be doing it, but actually I do think we need Labour values in doing that. And I think I have got a substantial amount of experience, which I want then to bring to this new position and to try and represent members. I just want to turn to some of the questions that you've posed as Eli. I think on open selection, what I'd say, I mean, I don't want to echo Anne too much because she's very expert on this stuff, but I think absolutely what we need is a way of members being happy with the MPs. But what we do not want to do is put a huge amount of party resource into forcing well-liked MPs and other candidates through a process which is rather necessary. We need to find a good way of doing it which prioritises winning elections. In terms of, I'd absolutely think that British citizens should always be able to vote in elections in the UK. We stop so many people in the UK from voting who are long-term residents because of their heritage. Why should we stop British citizens if they move away? Carbon emissions, I'm really proud to be part of a council in Sheffield which is committed to zero carbon by 2030. We absolutely can do that, but every year of a Tory government, it gets harder. And again, I would say I really would urge people to go to Socialists of Colour and read what I've put about anti-racism there, because I can talk so much further about that. But this party is a long way to go on anti-racism. I do believe we're, institutionally racist in many ways. We need to fix it. We can fix it, and we must fix it. So I think this is a really important position. I'm really pleased to have support from across the country and trade unions like GMB and Unison, and support from members across the country. And I really hope to gain your support too. Thank you so much. Thank you. I think they're both really good questions. I think on the first issue around bullying and the culture we seem to have in our party, it has to be an absolute priority for anyone that wants to be NEC now to completely change the picture on that. I mean, I think my most personal reflection is we just simply it's become acceptable, whatever your political beliefs, to simply be foul to other people, and that can be at a kind of surface level. But then you can absolutely see in some of the examples that goes to a really deep, hurtful, damaging, and probably illegal level of discrimination. That what the NEC need to do is to be really strong on taking action against allegations of these things. We need to be really clear on our principles. For example, on trans rights, I just think we need to be very clear about what we think there, and we need to take clear action. We need to make it very clear that it is simply not acceptable in this party to discriminate against another member. on a completely non-factional basis it has to be. And on the second question, I think one thing I've really said is that I think one problem with one thing I'd like to do is ensure there are disabled members' voices on the National Policy Forum and in policy making specifically, because we've got to have, if we want to have an accessible party internally, we've also got to make sure there's a thread of that accessible society throughout our throughout all our policies. It's not just about making disabled people's policy just a kind of DWP issue. It's about everything we do, and I think to do that we have to make sure that there is experts and experience represented in our policy processes, and that's something I really want to work on. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Yeah, I would just echo everyone else said. It's been not nearly enough of these kind of events, and I think that we're all really grateful for Labour International put it aside. I'm not going to claim that I was as familiar with some people about what Labour International was about and what the real value of Labour International coming together has been. But over the last couple of hours, whatever you decide and whatever goes forward from here, I have been educated, and I think that's really important. There's clearly a vital role which Labour International should be playing and can play and will play in every part of our party going forward as we look to renew and look to build towards government. It's been so interesting. I just really want to emphasise that this is a new position for disabled members rep. We have to make this work for disabled members. There are so many barriers that disabled members face in engaging with the party. We have to look forward and see that there is a real positive opportunity to change that. I've got what I feel is a huge amount of experience in the party, as a cabinet member, in trade unions and across our movement, that I want to be that real champion that takes that running start for disabled members, and works with members of the party that we really do have that revolution that we need, and ensuring accessibility. That's disabled people not just being elected to councils and to Parliament, but also helping to build an accessible society in every thread of our policy that our next Labour government will carry out, because that is absolutely key. And I'm just really certain that we need a tremendously strong voice for disabled members to really take this new position and to ensure that our society and our party is as accessible as possible. I really appreciate today, and thanks all for your great questions and engagement. Thank you then.